This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Buford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, Episode number 3682. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Heads My Car, and you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack.
Drinking a John. All right, here we go. Man goes on a naked rampage, armed with a for sale sign before kicking a cop in the head. Meanwhile, a body found under a bush in the woods was in fact just a sex doll, naked and spread. Visitors in Yellowstone cause traffic jam watching elk wash his face R. Kelly style. Drug bust on Western Australia coast ensures that party you're going to go to will not last a while. And if you go to Walmart, pro tip, do not use the self-checkout scanner. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, years ago, former light heavyweight UFC champion Tito Ortiz was in studio. Our very own The Ted Smith volunteered to take a shoulder punch from him, and Tito obliged. And then at a different time, self-proclaimed superhero and covert drug dealer Phoenix Jones, he also stopped by the studio. Now, on that occasion, Ted was not entirely voluntarily tased. According to Ted, it was mine and Miles' idea, not his. Nevertheless, I don't remember that part. Neither. Ted took a taser. Now, Ted, like a select group of people out there, he stepped forward to endorse something that he knows will be painful. But he is not, in fact, the first, of course. The guys involved in Jackass, they're well known, offer themselves up to agonizing scenarios. But one of the first ever was entomologist Justin Schmidt. He's the man behind the Schmidt Index, which is a pain scale that rates the relative pain caused by different insect bites and or stings. So thanks to this guy volunteering himself to different insect attacks, we know that you'd rather be bitten by a fire ant than by a bullet ant. Thanks to him, we know. Well, now the History Channel has a show called, quote, King of Pain, where host Adam Thorne, he signs up to be bitten by even bigger animals, including a reticulated python and, more recently, a Mexican beaded lizard. Just so you know, the beaded lizard's bite, by all accounts from his reaction, that might well be the Carolina Reaper of the venomous bite world, right? Carolina Reapers, of course, the hottest peppers on Earth. To put it into perspective, on the Scoville scale, which measures pepper's hotness, a bell pepper is 0. 0 Scoville units. A jalapeno checks in at about 2,500 Scovilles. The Carolina Reaper is around 2.2 million units, and yet people eat them anyway. Why? Because we volunteer ourselves to pain, and that's what today's question is. Today, we want to know what was way more painful than you thought it was going to be.
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Magellas! And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, Episode number 3682. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat on this lovely Wednesday. Exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it, but you find 3 negative stories every week in the news. And then we pit each story against the other.
That is correct.
To determine, out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. How are we looking this week?
I think the best way to sum this up is that all 3 of our contestants today were soaked in douche juice.
Yeah. Oh, so they got pooped on?
No, they're just douchey.
Oh, all right.
See, they marinated in douche juice.
I follow you. I thought you said deuce juice.
No, not douche juice, which I'm going to keep that one in mind now, too.
Okay. All right. So now at the best, we're going to determine out of the 3 who sucks less. And as we do every Monday through Friday here at 6 o'clock, we'll see you only on the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour, episode number 173. And today we get into a little what you don't need to know. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. Hundreds of channels on there. Favorite the Men's Room Happy Hour. We go live at 6. If you go and click on the channel there now, basically all you're hearing is like a 30-second commercial, then dead air. So we don't do anything until we start the program at 6 o'clock. Keep in mind, as it says on the Odyssey app, it is explicit.
Yes.
Meaning the language is not the same as the airwaves here, as well as the content. So keep that in mind with the people around you when you check out the Men's Room Happy Hour. And if you haven't checked it out, we're on episode number 173. And today on the program, we're going to talk about pain. And pain in a way where you didn't realize how bad the pain was actually going to be.
Sure.
Sometimes you're in such a state of shock when things happen to you, the pain isn't necessarily there immediately.
But I feel like those are things you didn't plan. Mm-hmm. Right? Somebody sucker punches you.
Yep.
Like, it hurts, but enough adrenaline says, all right, it doesn't.
Right.
But if your buddy says, all right, stand still, I'm going to punch you in the face, same punch, that's going to hurt a lot worse.
Sure. So, cruising the internet today, and see an ad, a trailer for a show that is on the History Channel, and it is called Kings of Pain. So tomorrow night they start season 2 of Kings of Pain.
All right.
Never heard of the show, don't know a lot about it, but Kings of Pain, it follows wildlife biologist Adam Thorne and professional animal handler Rob the Caveman Oliva as they get bitten and stung by some of the most dangerous animals and stinging insects in the world. From a reticulated python to a rove beetle, they're trying to complete a comprehensive pain index that will ultimately help save lives. Now, their mission is to test as many animals as possible and to continue to build upon entomologist Dr. Justin O. Schmidt's 1983 Sting Pain Index.
Yeah, he's the guy that got all this started.
So he is an entomologist and a bee researcher at the Carl Hayden Bee Research Center in Arizona. What he did was he came up with a sting index based on pain. So, for an example, it goes from 1 all the way up to 4+ is his index. Now, so they are doing the same thing.
So is it out of 5?
I believe it probably is out of 5. But they're trying
don't know.
other animals around the world that he did not test out.
Well, keep in mind, he was an entomologist, so he just stuck with insects, right?
Yeah,
These guys were like, hey, man, let's do lizards, snakes, electric eels, everything that seems like a bad idea.
So coming in at number 1 at 1%, well, not 1, but 1% sting index as far as the pain, that would be the sweat bee. The term sweat bee refers to several small bees, so-called because they're attracted to human perspiration. They rarely sting, but when they do, the results are pretty puny by Schmidt's standards. In fact, his description of the sting, light, almost fruity, as if a tiny spark has singed a single hair on your arm.
Right. So nothing.
You know those things. You're like, ow, they hurt.
Yeah, you swat them, you say, damn it, and then it's over.
At 1.2 on the pain index. That would be the fire ant. They're common nuisance to anyone with a yard. He judges their venom to be relatively mild.
See, when I was growing up,
assuming you're not allergic to fire ants.
Right. I mean, but growing up, when you heard about fire ants, Miles, you'll agree with this. That ranked up there like quicksand, Bigfoot, things that will kill you.
Sharp, sudden, mildly alarming. Like walking across a shag carpet and reaching for the light switch.
The problem with fire ants, because I've been watching this show on a different channel where a guy goes like the jungles and try to survive by himself.
Yeah.
But he was like in a desert somewhere, and I don't feel like fire ants is a bite. Like they all show up.
Well, I was going to say, it's like they attack in multiple. Yeah, so I think this guy's study, it's like a single fire ant bite.
At 2.0 on the pain index, the bald-faced hornet. A familiar sight to those living in the American South, the bald-faced hornet packs a punch. Schmidt describes this sting, which can throb for almost 5 minutes before subsiding, as rich, hearty, slightly crunchy. Similar to getting your hand mashed in a revolving door.
Okay, all right.
That sounds pretty painful to me.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Next on the list at 2.0, that would be the common yellow jacket. The yellow jacket wasp delivers a sting that can persist for up to 10 minutes. The character of the pain it produces is rather different from that of the bald-faced hornet, though both sting rate is 2 on the scale. They describe this one as hot and smoky.
Is this hot sauce or a damn beef
Imagine
steak?
W.C. Fields extinguishing a cigar on your tongue.
Okay, all right.
Coming in at 3 on the pain index.
I want to update that reference.
I know. Well, look, you got to keep in mind, this
Think
goes
of
back to
someone
1983.
Think of someone who smokes a cigar.
Fields.
They put it out on your tongue.
And what was that? A bald face?
Bald face. Bald face?
The bald-faced hornet, correct. Coming in at a 3 on the pain index scale, that would be the red harvester ant. You won't likely encounter one of these large red harvester ants unless you live in New Mexico or Arizona. That's probably a good thing. Schmidt describes its sting, which can inflame your nerves for hours rather than minutes, as bold and unrelenting. Someone is using a drill to excavate your ingrown toenail. Also at 3 on the index of pain scale, paper wasps. These pesky gray honeycomb-like nests can pop up under eaves or around porch areas in the summer. Luckily, the pain of their sting can begin to fade after 15 minutes. Regardless, expect a pain that is caustic and burning for those 15 minutes. Distinctly a bitter aftertaste, like spilling a beaker of hydrochloric acid on a paper cut. At 4 is the bullet ant. This is the Mac Daddy of them all, according to the Schmidt scale.
I believe him.
You have to travel to some fairly exotic tropical locales in Central and South America to encounter this large black ant. The bad news, according to Schmidt, the pain of its sting is literally off the charts. Schmidt describes the bullet ant sting as incapacitating. It maintains its intensity for at least 12 hours, often twice that. Pure, intense, brilliant pain, like firewalking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch rusty nail in your heel. That's how he describes the pain. So, they are trying to build upon Justin Schmidt's scale of pain. So the new season of the show, Kings of Pain, it captures Thorn and Oliva, testing both native and non-native species from all around the world. They do this at a centralized location, by the way, in California, to maximize their time. So they're following in the footsteps of season 1. Each 1-hour episode chronicles both men as they safely extract the animals and then execute the bite or sting on each other. Then they average the pain results, including intensity, duration, and damage, and provide personal footage of the shocking aftermath and side effects. They've got an on-site medic there, Dr. Ben Bo, who I guess helps them to make sure that they don't die.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
They say along the journey, viewers also learn about the history of each animal and its often an uncomfortable relationship with humans.
Sure.
So here's what kind of intrigued us to this. This is like a venomous lizard, all right?
Yeah, the Mexican beaded lizard.
Yes. The critter has a venomous bite, but it hasn't been studied as much as its more famous relative, the Gia monster. So, I guess they're going to try this with a guy, Adam. He has been bitten and stung by countless animals and nearly strangled by a reticulated python. But this is the first time that he has run into one of these venomous lizards. So, if we could, they use a 30-point pain index to rate his stings and bites. He's giving the Mexican beaded lizard a 26.5, which is higher than, I guess, last season's 25.75 for the reticulated python. The pain index includes intensity, duration, and damage. Adam said he experienced it all with this one. The lizard's bite debilitated him so much he could not handle the lizard when it came time for his co-star's bite. So he wasn't able to do it back to the other guy.
Jesus.
Rob's pain was even worse. He puked twice on his way home. So immediately as soon as this hit him, but here is this. They're holding basically this lizard up to the guy's forearm.
Yep.
And then it just, not like it looks really aggressive. It just clamps down.
It's got nothing else to do. So it just sits there.
Almost it's like it's just testing to find out what it is, but it injects the venom into his arm nonetheless.
Yeah, get it off. Off. Ah! Oh! Quick.
Yeah.
No bleeding. No, there is bleeding. Bleeding. Instant pain. Burning. So damn bad. It's like acid. It's like acid in my veins, man.
He's had the wrong kind of acid in his veins.
Yeah, no.
I don't even know. I'm not even sure what that does. That feel like it's magnetic and
I would think just burning,
like the feeling of like flicking a battery. I mean, what is the?
I don't know. But what I do know is I don't need to find out. Like, I admire these guys when they go, hey, we're actually doing this for scientific purposes. I understand that. But guess what? I'm not doing that for scientific purposes.
Yeah, when I think acid, I think just burning flesh.
Yeah.
Incredible
burning pain.
The look of this, just the look of the animal alone is enough to make you go, okay, you should not be bitten by this thing.
Well, that's why they do what they do, man.
Okay.
And again, it's all started because the entomologist guy. And you got to wonder, did he have no idea how bad these things would hurt? And he found out, or do you think it's more like when you talk to locals in different places, right? You go to South America and they say, look, man, if you see that bug, don't touch it, it hurts like a mother. And then he starts collecting this and says, F it, let them all sting me and see what happens.
So last season they went to the Bolivian jungle and they
like the Amazon.
They pursued the fabled executioner wasp.
It's in the name.
The warrior wasp. And the Goliath bird-eating tarantula. So all of them bit them. This sounds like the worst idea for a show ever.
I love the tarantula.
I did. I saw the tarantula.
That was too much.
That was gnarly, man.
That was. Then they went to South Africa to face the giant bark scorpion, the tiny Europlectes scorpion, and a lion scorpion. In Mexico, two torturous animals, including one that toppled Justin's pain scale. That was last season. The velvet ant, a different type of lizard, and then the scorpion fish. This thing was in a tank.
Right.
They put their hand down in it, man, and it absolutely zapped him. Our question, what was way more painful than you thought it was going to be? 206-421-ROCK.
Yeah, I'm out on that one.
Now, I will say that the thing that hurt a lot more than I thought it would, for me personally, because I'm mildly allergic, was a bee sting, right? Because I'd been stung by two separate hives of yellow jackets on two separate occasions. And with yellow jackets, I don't know if they don't put venom in you or if I just don't react, but other than the stinger going into your skin, it didn't hurt after that. You know what I mean? It's like someone had a needle, they poked you, once the needle came out, the pain was gone. And look, it sucked, but you could survive it. And we were doing, it was a final exam, and none of the kids wanted to sit near the window because there were like 3 bees on the window. And I'm like, man, whatever. I'll be fine, because you know the whole theory. If you don't mess with a bee, it's not going to mess with you. The problem is you have to remember that there's bees around. So we're doing the test. The bees are not bugging me. But then at some point, the top of my back itches. I absolutely go to scratch it. Well, it's the bee. The bee stings me. I'm telling you, man, for me, a bee sting is like 20 times worse than a yellow jacket. I just thought, like, if it stings me, it's no big deal. It's just a quick prick, man. And my shoulder was sore for like 5 days.
Is that the last serious pain you've had? Like, what is the last time that you feel like I am in pain? It's one thing, like you almost lost your arm,
but it didn't hurt.
But that's what I'm saying.
It never hurt,
and there's a difference,
right?
You can get in a car wreck and your adrenaline's going, and it doesn't hurt. At that time. But then when a day sets in, you realize it's like squats. It's always 2 days later.
Right. I mean, for me, it was a few weeks ago, just when I got hurt playing soccer. Like, same thing. Like, that guy's foot came over the ball, hit my ankle.
And he's wearing cleats, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. He falls down. I take 2 steps and then stop. It starts swelling. So I iced it. I didn't play the rest of the day. But, like, that night, I woke up a couple times at night, like, just with, like, the throbbing pain.
Worst pain in my life, I'm pretty sure. I tried to dunk a tennis ball or a volleyball, something like that. I get to the rim. I get held up on the rim. So I can't get over the top, but I'm stuck. I kind of swing with that momentum. So now my bottom half is going forward, but I'm kind of stuck at the top. So I'm swinging like on a swing. My legs are kicking out. When I finally kind of released from the rim with the ball that I had in my hand, the way that my right ankle was coming down, it was coming down toward the stand that held up the basketball rim itself on the outside.
Right.
It was an outdoor, and I hit it, and it just completely turned and snapped. And that was the worst pain in my lifetime.
How old were you?
Oh God, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
It was absolutely like I could not go to sleep. I could not lay down.
How long did you scream?
It was absolutely the worst. I mean, I've had a lot of broken bones. Last bad pain I had, I burned myself on my air fryer. It hurt for days. That thing gets hot.
Would you reach in?
Yeah, just how stupid. I was stoned. I just wasn't paying attention. What was way more painful than you thought it was going to be? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with a dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Snoqualmie Casino! KISW, specifically our own Mike Hawk. Mike, teaming up to give you 99 cars of 5 gallons of regular unleaded gas.
And he'll squeegee your windows.
So here's the deal. You show up at the Crescent Market at Snoqualmie Casino if you're close on Friday morning. Mike, you're going to get there early. I believe the lineup is going to start at 5:30.
Indeed.
You get in line, 99 cars, get 5 gallons of regular unleaded gas on the house.
Correct. Regular unleaded gas.
On the house.
On the house.
Okay?
And
Friday morning.
And some squeeze.
And you're going to check oil? You're going to do all the things that you should?
No, I'm not. Checking oil is going to take too much time.
He's passing out. Look,
aren't you passing out the cards?
No, man. We're bringing them right to the pump.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, then you got all the time and you used to detail cars.
Oh, yeah. I can squeegee the windows, no problem. Man. I ain't checking oil on
Do you have an outfit like they have in Oregon? Like it kind of looks like
I get you.
Kind of looks like a caddy. It's normally a white jumper.
Yeah. I
kind of like
used to
David
have
Johnson in The Jerk.
What did I do with that? I think I tossed it as soon as I quit that last job.
Maybe a hat. We can order you one real quick, from Amazon. It looks like a service station.
Maybe I should just go to Napa and get like a bunch of stuff.
There you go. You gotta have a rag in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah.
That's a must.
Man, I'm going to grease up my face. I'm going to walk out there like I'm actually doing stuff. Like, all right, what do we got going on here? Just
Good God.
Give him 5 gallons.
Just look under there. Look at that hood.
Mike just wants to put on blackface. That's all it is.
That's
your loophole.
Have him pop the hood real quick. Let me see what we got under here. Yep,
Give him the thumbs up when they're ready to go.
That's an engine. All right, get him out of here.
Okay, that'll be cool. Friday morning, Chris and Mark at Snoqualmie Casino. Our question, what was way more painful than you thought it was going to be? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Marcus. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
All right. So the title of my story is The Double Clap Game.
All right.
Back in high school band camp, my buddies and I all participated in a game where the rules were very simple. You clap twice, and that is just enough warning to give your buddies a chance to cover their gonads.
So you're playing the, what?
Oh, you're playing
the
tag.
tab.
You're playing tag, okay.
But double clap, all right.
But the second rule is, if you clapped once and they flinched, you got sucked in the gonads.
All right.
Now,
all right.
This all came to a head when my buddy clapped once and flinched, and the guy decided to do an elbow drop on him.
On his gonads.
Was he on the ground?
Yeah, he was laying down.
Okay, what happened? The suspense is killing me. The pauses are amazing, but the suspense is killing me.
He had to go to the doctor's office, and, man, a teacher's caught wind, and that was a tradition ruined.
All right.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So wait, what?
Yes. They got busted playing tag, and then
was he in pain at any point?
No. Another dude dropped an elbow on somebody else.
What was way more painful than you thought it was going to be? So all that, it never answered the actual question.
He wasn't the one.
My God.
What was way more painful than you thought it was going to be? 206-421-ROCK.
How old are you? Corduroy. I mean, like, what?
I watched a guy drive a motorcycle into a wall, man. What does that have to do with you?
Right. See, like
how did that hurt you? How did that hurt you?
What happened to the game?
And then his helmet popped off. Boom. I said, ow, I bet that hurt.
Yeah, we said, did you make it to a birthday party?
Oh, my God.
All right, let's try this again.
Take two.
Hello, Grant. Welcome to the men's room.
Oh, what's going on, guys?
Hola.
Hell yeah. So, I've been bitten by fire ants, bees, all that stuff.
Where were you that you were bitten by fire ants? Where were you?
Oh, when I went to Florida, I had to go to Florida. I was in the military. They made us do push-ups out in the grass, push-ups and sit-ups, right in the middle of a fire ant field. So everybody would just come back to the dormitories and everything, just covered in bites.
Did they do this on purpose?
I don't know. They could have. I didn't ask them. I wasn't in a position to ask. You know what I'm saying?
That seems like a fair question. Like, hey,
I think you like.
There's lots of fire ants.
You know, take your shirt off. Now let's do some sit-ups. Right. You know, come on.
Yeah,
I mean, come
obviously there's anthills all over the place. Like, what are you guys doing to us?
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, probably. But the worst thing is, a couple of years ago, I got a hernia, and now I'm in my 40s. So, you know, my late 30s or early 40s, I get a hernia. You see that stuff on television and movies, you hear people talk about it, but man, I had never had a worse pain in my life. I've blown out both my ACLs. Like I said, I've been stung and bit by everything in North America anyways. But the hernia, like I was doubled over. I was crying.
Was it one that was downstairs, or was it one that was like a hiatal went up in your stomach? Where was it?
It was like in between area, like right above the business, right?
Above the shaft.
Right, 'cause, like, I had a hiatal hernia, but every time I bring it up, I mention it was a hiatal hernia. Like, he had a hernia.
So does that mean, like, what, can you cough? What is something that's unexpected? That, like, if you sneeze?
Yeah, anytime I sneeze, I'm a smoker, so I got that cough. I've been smoking for 20-some years, so that didn't help. Every time I was like, ha, ha, ha. You know, I'm like, oh, my gosh.
So did anything...
And it got to the point...
Did anything in particular? Go ahead.
What's that, sir?
I was going to say, did anything in particular bring it on, or is it something that just happened?
Well, at my job at the time, what I've been doing for the last few years, lots of times I got to lift like heavy equipment, like 160-pound boxes, like with me and one other person. And
you got to bend your knees, bro. You got to squat down, man. You got to use your whole core of your body. I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference. If it's going to pop, it's going to pop. There's a hole, it's going to go.
Yeah, but I never knew. Like I said, like on TVs or movies, or you hear people talk about it. No, it got to the point where it went from it. I could feel like a marble-sized like type of ball, right? And then it got to the part where it was like the size of a racquetball, just pushing its way out.
Yeah. What do you do? Do you have to get it operated on? I guess.
Yeah, I'd have surgery for sure.
How long did you deal with this? How long did you deal with it before you got the surgery?
It didn't. I waited until it got super painful, right?
Yeah, the super guy way.
I was going to say, that makes sense. It just didn't happen. It was something that was gradual.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah, we'll just let it go. We'll see what happens. And then it got to the point, like I said, where I'd be like curled up, like on the floor. It got a couple times. Well, I wasn't on the floor, but I had to go lie down in my bedroom. My wife would be gone with my daughter, like out playing or something in the afternoon, and I would be literally in tears.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've heard. Right, that's what I've heard about real like the hernias down there. It's like you're literally curled up in a ball. It hurts so bad.
And now that he brings that up, yeah, it's the last time I was in a lot of pain, and actually him laying in bed explained it. My son was 3 years old, I think it was. I'm laying in bed. It's before I go to work, and he's jumping around doing whatever, but he kind of slips, and inadvertently his forehead plows into my balls, right? And I realized I had not taken a direct, clean shot there since childhood, right? Which is
it doesn't happen very often.
It really does. When you're an adult, it just doesn't happen as much.
It's like getting the wind knocked out of you.
Right, man. So, I forgot. I know it is excruciatingly painful. I forgot how bad it was. But anyway, his forehead hits, and like anything, I realized it's happened. You get about a 3 Mississippi before that pain sets in. So we stopped playing, and my body, it's like I did not do it on purpose. My body just contracted into the fetal position, right? But I'm still on the bed. My son's like, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Man, there's no way to explain this to you." I said, "You're going to find out when you get older." And I said, "It's bad." And then so for like 2 minutes, I'm on the bed, and the pain is so bad. But I realized for whatever reason, I had to be on the floor. Like I had to be curled up. Like I can't even be in bed. I have to. And he's watching me the whole time. I'm like, "It's all right, man. Don't worry about it. Just these things happen now. God. And I mean, he looked seriously concerned. But, and then when it's done, it's done. But for like 10 minutes, man, I'm just like, don't stop staring at me, dude. It's okay. It is
little dogs and little kids.
They have no idea. You know what I'm saying? And you take that clean
and toddlers.
God.
My friends have toddlers. They're right at that height.
They'll run directly into it.
They run directly arm.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you got to throw up. You just got to be like, I just need to be
right. Just leave me
alone. I can do this. I'd rather be by myself and just work through it than you be standing over my shoulder.
There's something about your presence that makes this worse.
Yes, it does.
You know what I mean? It's like, just leave me. It's like pooping.
If I need
just leave me alone.
If I need you, I'll come get you.
Right.
Well, it was way more painful than you thought it was going to be. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, naked ladies.
Hola.
Hey, guys. So you guys, normally you get circumcised around childbirth, right?
That is correct.
So, so I'm from the Philippines, and men in my family have a tradition of getting it at 10 years old.
Who started this dumbass tradition?
Your great mean grandfather.
Dumbass grandpa, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're changing this tradition, man.
Was he like worshiping, was he worshiping spaceships? I mean, what was he into?
Yeah, whatever it was, but at 10 years old, I didn't know any better what was going to happen.
Of course.
What a circumcision was. So, anyways, I'm laying on this table completely. I'm not knocked out. I'm completely aware of what's going on.
Do you know what's coming?
I knew it was coming. There was a big whoop right there before it was.
Wait a minute, hold on. This wasn't done at home, was it?
It was done at a clinic.
Oh, it was done at a clinic. So they did not give you any local anesthesia?
They did. So it was when the first needle hit. It was painful.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, because you
painful.
took
I
a needle
didn't
to the
realize what
penis,
was going
dude.
on.
You took a needle to
And
the
then
penis. That's what happened.
Pretty much. And then, surprisingly, they had a barrier up, so I couldn't see what was going on. And when I was, as he was working, the doctor was working, he, I heard a snip, and then cold just enveloped my nether regions.
Yeah.
Just the feeling of cold. So I was thinking possibly that could have been the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he started stitching me up, the anesthetics actually wore off, so I felt every single stitch.
And brother, this is the worst story I've heard in my life.
And you're watching it. It's not nearly as bad. I got a vasectomy, but it's still weird to watch them cut you open and then stitch you back up down there. You're like, this is crazy living.
Yeah.
Now wait, do you have any older or younger brothers?
I am the youngest.
And none of them warned you about what this tradition is going to be like?
Yep, no, they just laughed at me.
So what is it? Again, I have to ask, what is this tradition based on?
I didn't ask.
You need to find out. You need to find the hell out. This is the most important. This is the most important thing of your family ancestry. I've never heard anything like this. You might be the only people in the world who do it. You need to find out. Write a book about it.
Yeah, like pass down a blanket, make a quilt. Man, don't wait till I'm goddamn 10 to snip my penis, bro.
Anything. Yeah.
It's time to update, man.
Oh, man.
That's all I'm saying. Sean, take it upon yourself to
find out what's
update
going
the
on.
family tradition,
and then change it.
Right.
Like some things just don't always have to be.
That seems insane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely changing when I have my kids.
Yeah.
So, like, when you tell your friends this, I'm assuming all of your friends have the same rough reaction we do. Like, what?
Exactly what happened with you guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It will never change.
Some fraternities.
You will never tell this to another dude who's like, yeah, that's cool.
Some fraternities used to brand their members when they got initiated. And a lot of them don't do that anymore. It's okay.
Right.
It's a good thing.
Golly.
Given
man.
those two options, I might say brand me.
I'm taking the branding.
Well, hey.
Yes.
Because like circumcision hurts unbelievably. I just don't remember as I was a
I
baby.
don't know exactly.
I told you, my son, I knew he was going to get circumcised, and the day we took him to get it done, we're in the room they're going to do it in, and the doctor is explaining to us the process of the procedure, right? And you can kind of piece it together, but they have to tell you. But the whole time he's talking, there's this weird plastic contraption that catches my eye, but I'm not making sense of what it was. And I realized
it's like the
I was
penis
looking
guillotine.
at it, and I was looking at it at the wrong angle. And it looks like a giant, like, cookie mold, and you realize it's in the shape of a human being. And then you realize, despite the fact that my kid, I don't know, 2 weeks old, however old he was, they're still going to strap this bitch down. Because when you attack something's penis, even at that age, this kid who can barely open his eyes and drools and the booger goes in and out of his nose with each inhale and exhale, like, he will attack you and try to kill you when he realizes what you're doing.
I've had many friends say this. Because typically it's done a couple weeks after birth. It's a reasonable time frame from birth. But anyway, you've heard your kid be fussy. You've heard your kid cry out in hunger. The kid will wake you up in the middle of the night. You have not heard the kid scream until they cut into his...
Dude,
it's the first time. It's almost like the first time you hear a dog bark.
I mean, it's got to be.
Dude, because you're on the out... You're not in the room when they
It's like when your dog barked for the first time.
Right, but you're literally just on the outside of a door, right? And you know what they're doing. And again, you realize this is an infant. Probably the least threatening living creature on this earth is probably a human infant, right? They still got to strap this dude down. Because somewhere along the lines, some baby looked up and said, what you doing here, player? Right? So the kid strapped that.
By the way, I was thinking it would be hilarious somehow if a baby was just like, oh!
Whoa!
Come on. Goo goo gaga, get off me!
Yeah.
Do not touch my penis!
I want it!
You thought mom would be my first word. First word, get off my penis.
It's amazing. You didn't realize that your kid can make that much noise, be that loud.
It's horrible.
And it's just, it's bone chilling.
But it's because it's, one thing about kids, man, if you have kids or you're around kids, you know this to be true. You can hear them scream, but you know automatically if it's distress, if it's laughter, if they're scared, if they're messing around. This was pure distress, man. I mean, it almost made my knees weak. Like, I don't want to be a parent. Like, I don't ever, he's 10 years old now. Never remotely heard him make a sound like that. That's a one-time deal. Yes, I mean, I've seen him hurt himself, dude.
Right.
He's cried. He's yelled. Hell, he's cussed at the top of his lungs. But, like, man, just the difference in the intensity between being circumcised and anything else is, I'm glad I don't remember.
What was way more painful than you thought it was going to be? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.